Today I'm drawing Pocahontas. It's a story that many of us saw so many years ago as children, but which we still love. When I first saw this film, it was a huge discovery for me, like every new Disney film back then, like The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and many others. These films were wonderfully animated, very natural physics of movement, while many scenes were hand-drawn at that time. Plus, the wonderful music and fantastic scenes with songs were simply mesmerizing. At that time, I dreamed of becoming an animator and making cartoons like Disney. Hi guys, I'm Taiss and welcome to my new episode. As a child, I copied Disney characters a lot. Who else did this? Write in the comments. I have drawn Pocahontas many times before, but this time, in this art, I wanted to draw her very similarly, so that the viewers would say it is her and no one else. I wanted to be as close to the Disney style as possible, as close as I can, without copying but keeping my approach and my style. Old, hand-drawn Disney cartoons have a very natural physics of movement that I wanted to capture and study as well. When stylizing in the Disney style, I constantly have that feeling that I need to go against my drawing instinct, and I need to draw what I see and not how I feel it should be drawn. As a references, I had a few saved shots of Pocahontas, a scene when she is sitting under the willow tree and talking to her. But at the same time, I had to keep in mind that in movies, not every frame is made as a totally separate picture. Not every frame is suitable to become self-sufficient artwork, because a separate self-sufficient artwork requires much more rich semantic content, details and expressiveness than is required from a separate frame from a movie, since in a movie the means of expression is also largely movement, animation, and frames for animation have their own laws. A wonderful part of my job is that I have to watch or rewatch a movie in order to draw a character from it and study the character in detail. I love this part of my job. While working on the stylization for the sketch in this art, I noticed that I really want to complicate the style to add some details. But Disney's style is distinguished by a certain degree of minimalism and conciseness. I wanted to be minimalistic, to match the style, do not complicate, do not add unnecessary details and overdo details. I needed to keep only those details that are very characteristic of the character, since unnecessary details will make it difficult to recognize the character for the viewer. But, well, I did add some details, like buttons on her dress, to make this image more interesting. In general, a lot of details is typical for my style, which I usually work in. Maybe it's my character trait, the desire to complicate everything a bit on one hand, and maybe to notice the smallest details on other hand. This sketch took me much more time than usual to get the proportions right, so the proportions will be stylized as Disney does it. Anyway, it was an incredibly interesting and useful experience of stylization. And moving on to the coloring process. From time to time it seems to me that there are two people living inside me, two artists. One of them draws very brightly, adds a lot of color and loves saturated colors to such an extent that it's impossible to even hold back, and there is an excess of color. And also there is another person, another artist who lives in me, who loves monochrome, loves sad, gloomy scenes. This person draws in almost black and white, loves gray, feels every single addition of color like a big event, and is generally very sensitive to light. I feel that each of these approaches has its pros and cons, and I try to work out and try to go between them and find some third way. I think the balance lies somewhere around a good balanced color palette, so that the colors balance each other. Also, the gray color is amazing. The magic of gray color is that not only does it combine wonderfully with any color, it can take on the features of any color. It becomes it. It is able to take on any color, becoming it, deceiving the human eye. In general, it's not only the gray color that can deceive us and pretend to be another color. All colors can do this. For example, on this optical illusion, on this principle, Zorn palette is built on. The colors in this palette effectively pretend to be other colors. The Zorn palette is a limited 4-color palette consisting of yellow ochre, ivory black, vermilion and flake white. By combining these colors, artists can easily create a vast array of naturalistic and nuanced tones. Painting traditionally with watercolors or gouache, and also in digital painting, I use this principle a lot. Since artist keeps the color values in artwork, this works wonderfully. This principle works not only for limited palette, it's very important and it works with any color palette. The face will look as a face, even if the shadows are purple and highlights are yellow or blue. In case artist keeps values, the same values as the face has in real life. So this principle once again proves that an artist can do whatever he wants, the magic with his colors. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my art, support me with your like and subscribe to my channel so as not to miss the next videos. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.